It's that card girl, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the Gundam card game's newest starter decks, STO7. This is the purple and green starter deck, Celestial Drive. It features faces familiar to those of you who've watched Mobile Suit Gundam 00. And the back of the box gives you a bit of an idea of what comes inside, but no deck list. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and take everything out so we can see what's inside. We have the Quick Start Guide and Paper Play Mat combo. And then we have the Celestial Drive bonus pack, which includes a plus version of any card included in the deck. We'll get back to that in a bit though. And then of course we have our deck sandwich, which is a bit more aptly named now since they've decided to put the resources on top and the bottom. It adds a bit more suspense on if you got a God pack or not. So let's go ahead and take a closer look, find out if we got a God pack, and see what all cards are included in this deck. We'll slide off the plastic band. And then on top we have our 10 resource cards. And not a God deck. But we have 2 copies of our purple LR unit, Gundam Exia, with a level of 5 and a cost of 4. 2 copies of the level 4, 3 cost green LR unit, Gundam Dynamis. And the LR units do tend to stick together sometimes. I promise, there is 2 copies here. I will admit though that I didn't know that LR units had a tendency to stick together, so I was a bit concerned whenever I first opened this up that I was missing an LR unit. Moving on though, we have our non-LR purple units, starting with 4 copies of the level 4 2-cost Gundam Exia, 4 copies of the level 5 3-cost Gundam Virtue, and 3 copies of the level 3 2-cost Gundam Virtue. For our green units, we have 4 copies of the level 3 2-cost Gundam Dynamis, 3 copies of the level 3 2-cost Gundam Curios, and 4 copies of the level 2 2-cost Gundam Curios Flight Mode. Moving on to our pilots, we have 3 copies of our first purple pilot, the level 4 1-cost Setsuna FCA, and 3 copies of level 4 1-cost Tyria Erde. For green pilots, there's 3 copies of level 4 1-cost Lock-On Stratos, Neil, and 3 level 3 1-cost Alleluia Haptism. Onto command cards, we have 2 copies of the level 4 1-cost Purple Armed Intervention, and 4 copies of the green level 1 1-cost Tactical Visionary. And then there's 4 copies of our level 2 1-cost purple base Ptolemaios. And 2 copies of our reprinted with new art command card, Fatal Strike, which is a level 4 2-cost purple command, and originally came from STO5. Then we have our EX base, our EX resource, and our cardboard tokens with 4 1s, 2 2s, 1 3, 1 4, 1 AP plus 1, 2 AP plus 2, and a blank that has the Gundam logo on the back. Before we get to taking a closer look at the cards in the deck, I do want to remind you that we put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We focus mainly on Gundam, One Piece, Lorcana, and Pokemon. Make sure you're following us over on Instagram if you haven't already at thatcardgirl.tcg. There's a link for it in the description. And speaking of links, there's a link to our Discord channel there as well. Let's go ahead and move on to our first pilot and unit, Setsuna FCA and the LR Gundam Exia. Setsuna gives whatever unit he's attached to an additional 2 attack and 1 health. When Setsuna is paired with a unit and that unit attacks, if you have 7 or more cards with the CB trait in your trash, all of your units that have the CB trait get an additional AP. And if you don't have 7 or more CB units in your trash, then the unit that Setsuna is paired with gets an additional AP. And I do want to point out that every unit and pilot in this deck has the CB trait. Let's talk about what the Gundam Exia LR unit does. Its link pair pilot is Setsuna FCA, and it has, on standard, 4 attack and 4 health. However, whenever it's link paired with Setsuna, thanks to attacking giving it an additional 1 AP and Setsuna's plus 2 attack plus 1 health, this unit becomes 7 attack and 5 health, no matter if you have 7 cards or not in your trash. But speaking of having 7 or more CB trait cards in your trash, if you do, this Gundam Exia lets you set one of your resources as active. And this unit helps you get cards into your trash because whenever you pair it, you take the top 2 cards from your deck and put them in your trash. And if you have a CB card that went into your trash because of that, you get to draw a card. On to our second LR unit and its link pair pilot, we have Gundam Dynamis and Lock-On Stratos. New. Gundam Dynamis recovers 2 HP whenever it's your turn and you use it to destroy an enemy unit with its battle damage. Gundam Dynamis says that it has 2 AP and 4 HP, but whenever you link pair it to Lock-On Stratos, it gets an additional AP and 2 additional HP, making it 3 AP and 6 HP. Except Gundam Dynamis also has Deering Link, allowing it to have an additional 2 AP, which adds up to a whopping 5 AP for this unit and 6 HP. And Lock-On Stratos, when paired to a CB unit, makes it to where the unit can attack an active enemy unit that's equal to or less than the level of this unit. So whenever Lock-On Stratos is paired to Gundam Dynamis, you can pick a level 4 or less enemy unit that is active and use it as your target. Now, usually we only talk about the LR units and their link pair pilots, but for this starter deck, all of the pilots included and their Gundams have some pretty cool effects, so we're going to take a look at all of them this time. Starting with the level 3 2-cost Gundam Virtue and its link pair pilot, Tyria Erde. This Gundam Virtue has 3 attack and 3 HP, but whenever link paired to this pilot, it gains an additional attack and HP, making it a 4-4, and since this pilot is a CB pilot, like all of the pilots included in this deck, Gundam Virtue becomes a blocker. And Tyria Erde, whenever it is attached to a unit and is destroyed, if it's your opponent's turn, you get to draw a card, so long as it's a CB unit that this pilot's attached to. Gundam Kyrios has 2 attack and 3 HP, and besides Alleluia Haptism being a link pair pilot for it, Hallelujah Haptism is as well. With the Gundam Kyrios, as long as you have a CB pilot on your board in play, it gets an additional 2 AP, making it a 4 AP, 3 HP. But whenever it's link paired to Alleluia Haptism, it gains another AP and another HP, bringing it up to 5 AP and 4 HP. And thanks to Alleluia's effect, you're not going to receive any battle damage from an enemy unit that is 3 AP or less, so long as you have a CB link unit in play, which, if you have Alleluia and Gundam Kyrios link paired together, you're all set. And I haven't mentioned it for each pilot, but each pilot has the same burst effect as all pilots have so far, which makes it to where you add this card to your hand if you draw it from your shields. Let's go ahead and move on to our command cards and our base card. Like I mentioned whenever we were going through the deck, Fatal Strike was printed originally in Starter Deck 5, so we're not going to talk about it here. If you want to learn more about that card, go watch our Starter Deck 5 video. We're going to go ahead and start by talking with Armed Intervention, the purple command card. If you draw this card from your shields, its first effect allows you to draw a card. And if you use it during your action phase, a friendly CB unit that is rested becomes the attack target of the enemy unit that is battling. So this card can pretty much make any CB unit a blocker. And since it specifies a rested friendly CB unit and not just one of your CB units, that means that if you're playing with a partner, then it can be one of their CB units that you turn into a blocker instead. Tactical Visionary is a great main phase searcher card. You'll be looking at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you get to reveal a CB unit or pilot and then add that one to your hand, and then the other 2 cards are going to go randomly at the bottom of your deck. And if you didn't get a CB unit or pilot card, then the 3 cards will go randomly at the bottom of your deck. And I really do love that the Gundam card game has you randomly add the cards to the bottom of your deck instead of having to go through the whole process of shuffling. And then we have our base Ptolemaeus, which has 5 health. If you get this card from your shields, then you deploy this card as a base in front of your shield, and when you deploy this card, you take a shield card and add it to your hand. It's kind of standard procedure for base cards in this game. Ptolemaeus, though, has a static effect that makes it to where enemy units that are level 3 or less, except for unit tokens, can't damage this base, as long as you have a rested friendly CB unit. And again, since it says friendly, it doesn't have to be your CB unit, it can be a partner's as well. And, by the way, whenever it tells you that it can't take damage from enemy units that are level 3 or less, if that enemy unit level 3 or less is using breach damage, Ptolemaeus still does not take damage from it. And that pretty much wraps this deck up. I'm super excited that we managed to get our hands on this one right at release, because I'm a big Gundam 00 fan, and I also think that this deck is going to be super fun to play. This deck is definitely becoming my main deck. I love the healing that it has, but also I kind of really enjoy decks where you do a bit of sacrifice to get what you need. So let's go ahead and get to opening up this bonus pack so I can find out what card I get to replace with a plus version of itself. The C+ Tactical Visionary. Looks like I get to replace my searcher card with a fancier version. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell the next James Bond fan to see about us. That card girl out!